guys, welcome to my new video, and today I'll be talking about professions. A lot of people have been asking me, hey Matskills, which professions are going to go at the start of Shadowlands, which is going to be your leveling professions, which professions are going to be great in terms of Mythic Plus, in terms of raiding, which professions are going to be mandatory if I'm pushing Mythic Plus, and this video is going to be covering all those. But keep in mind, these are going to be my picks for my characters, and I'm going to be leveling 3 characters at the start, and they're going to have different utility, different purpose, and I'm going to assign them a different profession based on that. Again, it is beta, anything can and will change, but let's have a look at some of the misconceptions or biggest questions that people ask when concerning Shadowlands and professions. The number one question is, once you start leveling in Shadowlands, in Erebos you can pick up all of the professions that you want. Now, a lot of people ask me, do I need to have maxed out level profession from BFA? Do I need to start leveling professions in BFA in order to compete in Shadowlands? Once you play Shadowlands, once you pick up a new profession, you're going to be starting from level 1. Everyone's going to have an equal footing. No one's going to have an advantage. With every expansion, you're starting from the beginning. And again, you don't get a direct advantage if you had max level of previous profession. Another question that people ask me is legendaries. And this is a big one, guys. So let's go have a breakdown of how legendaries work. Very, very important. You don't need blacksmithing, you don't need leatherworking or tailoring in order to craft legendaries. You'll be able to craft legendaries regardless of what profession you pick. Now, those specific professions will be able to craft base level items that you need to craft legendaries. But those base items can be sold on auction house. So again, you're not tied into or forced to pick a certain profession. Now let's look at what creates or makes a legendary item Shadowlands. You need the base item. You need Soul Ash. You need 100 at the moment. Again, Soul Ash is gathered from Torghast. You have a weekly cap of 100 Soul Ash, which again, Blizzard has mentioned that they want you to get a legendary item every 2 or 3 weeks. They mentioned this before. But with the current system, you can get 100 Soul Ash on a weekly basis, and you can craft a legendary basically every week, which most likely will change. So keep that in mind. Then you also actually need to have the recipe, and then you also have to have scrolls from scribes or people who have inscription. They'll be able to make certain scrolls. You need these items to create a legendary. Very, very important, there is 4 ranks to legendaries. So you can have a 190, 210, 225, 235. Does it make a difference? Should I hold on to it? Should I craft level 1? Should I craft rank 4? What's the difference? The general consensus, guys, you craft your best legendary straight away. You want to get it straight away because there is a very, very important aspect. The legendary effect does not scale with item level. Very, very important. So let's go through an example of how to get this. So once you have all the mats, you'll go to Rune Carver and you'll click on it and say, hey, I want to craft a legendary item. All of a sudden you'll see this screen and you'll see all the base items that you have. Now in this example, I want to use my Bone Shatter legs here. That's going to craft, it's 190. If you wanted to craft rank 2, you could go to an auction house and get 210 item level if you wanted to. But this is what I'm going to be doing at the launch of Shadowlands. I'm going to be crafting legendary as quickly as possible, and I'm not really fussed about ranks in order to wait, because if you want rank 2, you need to pay 200 Soul Ash, and in order to get 200 Soul Ash, you need 2 weeks at this given point in Shadowlands. So Bone Shatter Greaves, I have 100 Soul Ash available. You can see here I'm going to be picking a certain legendary effect. Now the legendary effect you're going to have to find, and we'll cover that later on, but let's say I have Jonaths and I want this right now. Now, this is the scribe scrolls. With the scrolls, I can pick, hey, I want critical strike on this. Hey, I want haste on this, or I want versatility on this. So you get to create the secondary items on your legendary. Keep in mind, higher ranks of this legendary, or when you upgrade this legendary, it does not affect the actual legendary effect. So now, with the cost of 100 Soul Ash, I can create this legendary. If I want to upgrade that said legendary, I don't need to craft a new legendary. I'll just upgrade the existing one that I have. Less waste. So you can click on Rune Carver again and say, I like to upgrade my legendary item. Now, you get to input your legendary item, in this case, Jonaths, and you can see here that there's an error because I'm missing the base item. Now, because my Jonaths is 190, I would need a base item of over 190. So for example, 210. Now you can see my base item in my auction house here, I only have 190. If I had a 210 one, I'll be able to equip it here and I'll be able to upgrade my legendary to rank 2. If I wanted to upgrade from rank 1 to rank 3, for example, I would have to pay additional Soul Ash. If you want to upgrade from rank 1 to rank 2, you pay 100 Soul Ash. If you want to upgrade from rank 1 to rank 3, you're paying 200 soul ash. So generally speaking, you're not losing any soul ash, which is your most important currency in upgrading legendaries, whether you create a legendary from the start or whether you wait till the very end. The only thing that you're missing is some gold. Let's explain. If you decide to craft rank 1 legendary, 190, then rank 2, 210, then rank 3, 225, then rank 4, 235, you have to create this base item level every single time, which will cost gold. If you want to create rank 4, you just need to create one of these and you need to have 400 soul ash. But who will wait 4 weeks at least to get rank 4 before they get to use a legendary? So general consensus, what I'm doing, create rank 1 of legendary straight away. You need recipes, which again, you can go through the links that are in the description, and this is the drop sources for Rest of Druid legendaries. The Dark Titan's Lesson, which gives you 2 life blooms, which is still a very strong legendary, drops from Halls of Atonement, and I need to go and get that. Now let's go through some of the professions that I'm going to pick for my characters. Now, because I'm going to be raiding on my Resto Shaman and doing Mythic Plus on Resto Druid, there's going to be 2 different profession choices. First of all, I'm going to be picking Alchemy on nearly all of the characters because they always provide, the increase to flask duration, which if you play a character for a long time and if you want to be buffed with the flask all the time, you're going to be saving a considerable amount of gold. Besides the fact that Alchemy gives you an increased flask duration, it also gives you Alchemy Stone. Historically speaking, Alchemy Stone has been a very strong trinket, especially in entry-level raiding where mana is a big issue, because if you look at the equip effect, it says increases the effect that healing and mana potions have on the wearer by 40%. Keep in mind that the mana potions and potions in general in Shadowlands are different now. They have a 5-minute cooldown regardless whether you're in combat or not. So if you're doing a long fight, you might be using 2 mana potions. So all of a sudden, Alchemy Stone, like I mentioned before, has been a very strong trinket option for entry-level raiding, especially if you have mana issues. It's all going to be depending on the balancing of other trinkets. If there's going to be other trinkets that are giga strong, maybe Alchemy Stone is not going to make a clear option. But like I mentioned, if you look at previous data over the previous expansions, Alchemy Stone has been used by a lot of entry-level mythic raiders. Again, Alchemy, in my opinion, is going to save you a decent amount of gold. It's going to give you a decent trinket. Again, balancing, if the balancing is going to work out. It's going to give you things like you're able to craft like oils, you're able to craft potions that cure poison as well, maybe situationally strong. So that's going to be an option for most of my characters. Now, because my Resto Shaman does not have a battle res and I'll be using my Resto Shaman in Mythic Plus situations, I feel that anyone who's going to be healing on a class that's not Resto Druid and pushing Mythic Plus content, they'll be forced, and I'm gonna say this, they'll be forced to go into engineering. Now, I don't feel engineering is a bad profession because historically speaking, it's been one that's easy to level up. And if you look at some of the goodies that it provides in Shadowlands, it's quite interesting. Now, the number one reason why you would pick engineering is because you have Unstable Temporal Time Shifter, which gives you an option of bringing a person from who died back to life. Now, it can't backfire, it has a really long cast time, you need to stand right next to the mob. It is not perfect, but it is the only thing that classes like Resto Shamans, Mistweaver Monks, Priests, and Holy Paladins have in order to give extra utility or compete with Resto Druids in Mythic Plus content. So besides that, you also have a really interesting attachment to your belt that allows you to turn invisible while out of combat. And I feel this might be very interesting in Mythic Plus scenarios because Dimensional Shifter is going to have a 2-minute cooldown. It's going to give you a buff for 15 seconds that you turn invisible and you can run directly through enemies like an invisibility potion. And I feel that could situationally be very interesting in Mythic Plus scenarios, so I'm going to be trying that out later on. So engineering in my eyes have at least multiple options, but again, if you're doing Mythic Plus content as a healer and you're not Resto Druid, you're picking engineering as a guaranteed option. Now, because my Restoration Druid has invisibility, it has battle res, I'm not going to be picking engineering on Resto Druid. My Resto Druid is mainly going to be in Mythic Plus content. It's going to be doing a lot of dungeons. And I feel that I might pick something like enchanting, mainly because I want to disenchant the gear that's not needed. Now, gear is going to be somewhat scarce, so if someone doesn't need a piece of loot, I feel it might give you, or disenchanting that piece of loot might give you a decent amount of gold, again, subject to change, or possibly having something like herbalism where I can go and pick flowers and, craft them and give it to my other characters. Now, in terms of the professions that I'm going to be using while leveling, they're going to be a little bit different because I want to optimize or save some gold. I'm going to be leveling Resto Shaman first, and I might pick Enchanting because I want to disenchant the piece of gear that I don't need, the items that I get from questing, the gear that drops from dungeons that no one needs, and get myself a little bit of gold. Possibly I might pick up Herbalism as well because I want to pick flowers. I could also pick mining to make some gold. But I feel I'm gonna go with herbalism and enchanting as my first profession that I'm going to be leveling, mainly because of the fact I probably don't want to spend too much time going and picking up flowers and mining for stuff, and I'll be doing a decent amount of dungeons as well to get some gear, and all the leftovers are going to be disenchanted. All the flowers that I can get are going to be used for alchemy, because I'll be using alchemy as one of my main professions across all characters. And this has been my little video of professions. Again, anything can and will change, but generally speaking, I feel this is going to be a solid options for myself, because I really do like alchemy. I do a lot of Mythic Plus, I do a lot of raiding, and I'm a little bit sad about the fact that engineering is almost like a mandatory profession for anyone who's pushing Mythic Plus and is not a Resto Druid. So I do feel sad about being pushed into it, but I feel engineering is somewhat fun with what it provides. This video did not cover how to optimize gold making, because I don't do that kind of thing. This is all about optimizing your performance in Mythic Plus and raid situations and what's most convenient. Keep this in mind, but let me know how you feel about this video. If you enjoyed it, leave a like, subscribe to the channel. It helps me to continue with these videos, and I'll see you in my next guide.